Good afternoon. My name is Juan Robles Robles. I'm going to present to you a research myself and other three members of a group will conduct. The said research is the impact of teacher talking time, which we will be talking about TTT, on students of the Teaching English B.A. To start with, I would like to expose the three most important researches we base our own. These are the first one is in 2013 by Cárdenas. This research was made in Valdivia, Chile, by employing six different activities. The first is complete the drawing. Second, I think I know you. What's the time, Mr. Wolf? Back to back, a day in the life of. What do you think if I say? The paper proposes that in fact it's not the sole ingredient for ESLA, but all practice and production also play an essential role. Then in 2019, we have Popovich. This research was made in some elementary and high schools in Bitola, Macedonia. The study was made by answering a series of questions regarding how much teachers talk in class and how much they dedicate to question and answer sessions. The conclusion was that the student-centered approach requires minimal teacher talking time, which allows for students to become active participants in the classroom. Finally, by the year of 2002, Steve Walsh. His paper states how TTT should be given by quality and not quantity, implying that teacher talking time needs to be reduced. The main idea of this research is that TTT is a very important part of the classroom development, and it should be a principal aim of the EFL teachers. Moving on, we have our theoretical background. The first important concept is TTT, refers to the process of any teacher speaking to their students. Usually, when one mentions TTT, it's when only the teacher speaks and the students are limited to listen to them. Next is student talking time, STTT. Refers to the opposite of TTT, being that this time around the students is the one speaking instead of the teacher. Thirdly, many authors have stated that the meaning of communication should not change, whether it's used in a colloquial context or in a language teaching context. Many others have stated that the meaning of communication does change in an ELT context. Then, behavior in a language classroom is more than a concept to refer to the student's way of acting. In fact, the term is used to also emphasize the teacher's way to lead a class with the use of their verbal abilities. Teachers must have a set of skills in order to achieve effective language learning in their students. Lastly, engagement seems to be one of the key concepts in an effective process of learning, making lessons meaningful for students. Moving on, we have our justification. This research aims to highlight the effects of teacher talking time on students of the teacher English B.A. It also focuses on the relation between student talking time and teacher talking time, allowing this way to analyze students' perceptions on their day-by-day lessons. The research as a whole aims to raise awareness for teachers to be conscious about how their talking time could play a role in their students' process of learning. In addition, the effects of the student talking time are available for its analysis with the aid of the present research. Next, we have our context. In Mexico, the BA of teaching English is one good option to become a foreign language teacher. In a public university of the state of Guadalajara, in which 2022 there were 150,348 of enrolled students in the different BAs, with a specific campus of social sciences and humanities, with 13,358 students. In a different program about modern languages with 2,095 students. In a specific BA of Teaching English, which has 143 students. Also, in this BA, there are 35 professors giving classes to the future English teachers. The research focuses on both professors and students. Next, we have our general and specific objectives. Our general objective is determine how a high level of TTT has an impact on students of a teaching English BA and how this high level of TTT could affect their classes as teacher students. Next, we have our specifics. Determine how a high level of TTT has an impact on students of the teaching English BA. Compare the results of high TTT on students of teaching English BA. Describe the student's perception of high TTT. Next, we have our methodology. Design, open, flexible, and circular. Sampling design, intentional. Data analysis, inductive. Focus, quantitative research. Universe, teacher and students in the teaching English B.A. of an university. Sample population, minimum of 20 students out of the 153 and 6 teachers out of the 35. Type of investigation, qualitative, descriptive, explorative, no experimental. Instruments, surveys, and interviews. Rationale for instruments. The purpose of this survey is to collect the students' opinion of different classes about high TTT, in order to contrast their opinions with one another to be able to form a conclusion based on their data collected. Instrument description. A survey composed of 10 questions designed for students and an interview composed of 10 questions designed for teachers. Next, we have our instruments. In this presentation, you can see the link, but the specifics are: do you think that a high level of TTT is a good way to engage students? Do you think a high level of TTT could affect your learning process? How often do your teachers have a high level of TTT? Do you think that in your classes there exists a balance between STTT and TTT? How many of your teachers have a high level of TTT? How many teachers are conscious about their high level of TTT? How many teachers advise you about having a low TTT in your all classes? How often does STTT is high in your classes? Do you think a high level of STT could encourage students? Do you think STT level should be higher than TTT? Those are aimed to the students. Next, we have the interview aimed for teachers. On average, how long do you usually talk during your classes? How do you balance teacher talking time and student talking time in your classroom? Do you think that a high level of TTT is necessary for effective teaching? Why or why not? What challenges do you face when trying to reduce your TTT? Do you ensure that the students have the opportunity to ask questions and engage in meaningful conversation during your class, during your lessons? Have you noticed any difference in student engagement when you reduce your TTT? When students are given more chances to speak, how do you deal with disruptive behavior? Do you think that TTT should be given the same priority in all grades levels? Do you believe that in certain situations, teacher talking time can be a useful instructional tool? In your opinion, which proportion between TTT and student talking time is best for learning? Then we have our references, and these are our emails for any question or doubt you may have.